With hype much like the NBA free agency period, the NFL was primed, Twitter was primed for many trades. Out here in Illinois, Marcus Mariota was going to be a Bear. The Cowboys were going to get Jamal Anderson. The Browns were going to get Trent Williams. Rashard Higgins might be out. But after all of those rumors, all of those tweets from a fake Adam Schefter who said things that were going to happen and did not happen, nothing happened. All of those ideas did not result in trades. The Browns are still the Browns that we had a day or two ago. I
think Aqib Talib got banished to Miami.
Oh, he did? Okay.
He got banished. He was blamed for the Rams losing. So
yes.
All right, my apologies. There was one trade that has certainly lit up everyone's feeds.
Yep.
All right, but Jannard Avery, gone. Austin Corbett, gone in some recent trades just for draft picks. Drew, we'll start off with you this week. Why did we have to move these players? And are you a little bit upset with John Dorsey today?
Well, it certainly takes a little bit of the shine off the 2018 draft class. That was the draft class that brought the Browns back, where as we know, Nick Chubb, Denzel Ward, Baker Mayfield. But part of the shine of that was that we had a left tackle, a tackle that we could groom to eventually play. And part of that was we got a very good, what we thought, situational pass rusher as part of that class. And that's not going to be the bulk of that. That's not going to be there. They were never going to be the names that you first thought of. But Antonio Callaway looked pretty good as a rookie. That has not turned out to be the case. And now we've sort of moved on from Austin Corbett, which I think was the right decision. That's going to be painful. Will Hernandez was sitting right there, who's now a starting guard, who's one of the better guards, certainly one of the best young guards in the league. And he's somebody that they could have had. They could have been starting, would have made moving on from Kevin Zeitler would have been that easier. It was not the best player available, obviously. So that choice aside, let's talk about the Jannard Avery piece. I don't understand this. Jannard Avery is a better pass rusher than Chad Thomas right now. He is, right? And these are both Dorsey guys. One guy was a third-round pick. One guy was a fifth- or sixth-round pick. I don't know why we had to trade the better of the two. I don't think this does a whole lot for them now. They got back a decent pick. I mean, they got back a fourth-round pick for him when, you invest a later-round pick, a day 3 pick. You get a day 3 pick back. You get a year and a half of his service. It's not the worst value in terms of what they got back. But geez, I'd rather have Jannard Avery as my backup pass rusher for this year and next year and 2021 before I finally, get to use that 2021 draft pick. So, that's a tough pill to swallow. I don't know what happened to Genard Avery this year. I suspect we will never know. But why he couldn't see the field and why they insist on playing a guy like Chad Thomas, I don't get it. I think the Eagles made a pretty good trade here, and I think it's at the expense of the Browns. And again, I can't fault Dorsey for getting a fourth-round pick for a backup situational type player, but I don't know that I would have made the same deal myself. I think Jannard Avery's a pretty good player, and I think he's somebody this team's going to miss.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised that Avery's gone, Corbett's gone. And I go back to one thing that Romo said during the Patriots-Browns game, and that was with the Patriots Way and how New England handles and Bill Belichick handles poor play right around that time that we had a number of different mistakes. That I'm sure we'll get into here briefly.
Mm-hmm.
He said the Patriot way was to bench these players no matter what, that they don't get back into the game, and that's how they actually learn these lessons, is with playing time. I just wonder if this is part of the message being sent to the team that no one's place on this team is safe. Even if you're one of Dorsey's guys, one of the guys that people are judging him on, that your place isn't safe. You must perform on this team. And if you're not performing on this team, then you're out of here. It's either that or they're just a problem or a bad attitude in the locker room. I don't really know what it is. Eric, do you know why are we trading these players? It just seems like it's just so early.
Right, I agree. That's a good question. And I was really excited to see what Jannard Avery could bring to this defense. You could put him in certain packages, have him be on the outside, outside defensive end, throw him in a linebacker role, be that Swiss Army knife. Never got to leave the drawer though, unfortunately. So at least the Cleveland drawer, he's going to be in the Philadelphia drawer. He had 39 tackles, 5 tackles for losses, and 4.5 sacks last year. That's not earth-shattering, but that's something to build off of, and I would have liked to see what had happened. Looking at other players, you see Rashard Higgins, and he had a rejuvenation, I guess you'd say, last year, and you hear what Freddie's saying. He made a comment basically saying, why don't you go ask Rashard something about his health and playing time a few weeks ago. So there's something there. I don't think there's anything there with Genard Avery. The only thing I would say is I remember there was something he tweeted about how he's healthy and he's ready to play. So, somebody's telling him you're not playing. So there's frustration that set in. I don't know if he went to Dorsey directly, if he went to Kitchens to say, I want to play, trade me. And this is something that's very uncommon for the Cleveland Browns, whether that's right or wrong. Historically, especially when it's a Eric Mangini or a Butch Davis, the guy selecting the players who's coaching, is that they would hang on the player too long, and you would see deteriorate play for years upon years, as opposed to getting rid of these guys too early. Unfortunately, Dorsey's cutting his losses. We had already discussed he did recoup a better round pick for Avery. He was a 5th rounder. We got 1 round better. So, that's a small victory. But, I'd still rather have a good player. You don't see too many solid 5th round picks. I think, Richard Sherman might be, one of the better 5th round picks in the last 10 years. Other than that, if you can get those role player guys, then, that's pretty much all you could ask for at that spot. So, I'm hoping they can get one of these later guys next year, or maybe some undrafted free agent that can take Jannard's spot. It's not what we're accustomed to, but I'm hoping that, Dorsey, keeps doing what he's doing and builds a solid roster. And I'm really, really worried that there is something going on. I don't see it right now. I'm so sick of this dysfunction that's been, saddling this team for decades, years. GM fighting with coach, fighting with assistants, fighting with players. I just hope there's no backstabbing and sniping going on right now.
Yeah, you got to give some of this misbehavior some Tic Tacs for all that sidling. Son?
Yes. Of course.
For the record, Eric Mangini, friend of this podcast, he cut David Vicune within seconds of drafting him. I feel like.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
David Vicune was not long for this world.
I forgot about him, and so did most Browns fans.
All right, one thing I will applaud John Dorsey for: rumors of Trent Williams being traded to the Browns for Denzel Ward. That just sounds horrible, even though Ward has struggled to get on the field. Absolutely ridiculous. I would much rather give a 1st-round pick, and I don't really want to give up a 1st-round pick for an unknown sort of state of Trent Williams. He has a good past. What state is he in today? Get out of town. Denzel Ward, 1st-round pick. Don't need to take that type of risk on that player. But anyways, okay, so let's go back to New England. Usually I like to look forward, don't like to look back at these losses. But man, this was a jarring loss. I don't really remember getting this upset, frustrated, punching the couch this many times. It was a really frustrating game, even though it was played in the elements. Drew, what did you take away from that Patriots game? It was horrible.
Not jarring, man. You said it. This was Pat Shurmur-esque, guys. Like this was a guy, and I can look past a young team making mistakes, right? I can look past the second youngest roster in the league, making a bunch of mistakes. But at this point, this team is 3 accepted penalties away from breaking the NFL record for most penalties accepted in your first 7 games. They're 3 away from breaking the record in the NFL history, 100 years of football. First 7 games, they're 3 away from breaking that record. But the really jarring part to me, 4th and 11, you're down 2 touchdowns. That's midway through the 4th quarter. You obviously need to score on that possession. It's 4th and 11. You call your offense off the field before you realize that you need to go for it. So you tell the punting team to false start to save the one timeout you do have left so that you can put your offense on the field to try to pick up 4th and 16. That is Pat Shurmur defense not getting out of the huddle, quick snapped Bruce Gradkowski to A.J. Green. That is Pat Shurmur not knowing where he is on the sideline and running over the referee in the first game and getting a 15-yard penalty that keeps the defense on the field. That is Pat Shurmur level nepotism, not ready for the job, bad. That's terrible. And I mean, I don't know. The only easy, I don't know, it's not easy, but the only solution I can say is you have to take something off this guy's plate, and he has to be good enough to realize he cannot call the plays and coach the team. He cannot be head coach and offensive coordinator at the same time. He's just not ready for it. Sean Payton can do it. There are guys that can do it. Sean McVay can do it to a certain extent. Kyle Shanahan can do stuff like that. This guy is not ready for it. We have a play caller who can take this over. The fix that I would make is to allow Todd Monken to call the plays so that Freddie can figure out what the heck he wants to do from one play to the next, from one strategy to the next, figure out the personnel that's on the field, figure out who can orchestrate the plays that are out there. It's bad. Get the plays in quicker. I don't know. I don't know if this is a solution or not. All I know is I saw in that New England game clear evidence that this guy isn't ready. This guy's not the solution at head coach. It's making me rethink this whole Mike McCarthy thing. It's making me rethink, what we wanted was Bruce Arians. That didn't happen, but I was pretty happy with Fred Kitchens. I am not at this point. I don't think he's ready to be a head coach, and I don't see a solution at this point short of just sticking with it and learning through this just awfulness, or maybe giving it the play calling duties and salvaging this season.
Oh man, we're falling into the same trap.
It's the same
Every
thing.
single year.
Yeah.
We want to get rid of the head coach.
Atrocious coaching.
Because we're not seeing success, and success fixes all of these things. It's really frustrating. But Eric, can you talk us off the ledge? We don't want to do the same thing we've done in the past. We want to build continuity. Please help us.
Well, yeah, I obviously agree. What I've noticed is his place as a coordinator is kind of standing out. He's so used of knowing the micro, the smaller, the day-to-day, in this case, play-by-play, as opposed to the big picture. Situationally, it's 3rd down. What do we need to do here? It's 4th down. What are we going to do? Some type of punt rush? Are we going to have a return? How will that affect our offense going forward? So I mean, maybe he's, intelligent enough to understand what things have to occur as a result, but it's not showing on the field, and it's really frustrating and disappointing. Obviously, the Patriots are a great team, so a call here or there might not swing the game, but you can have gaffes like that show your ill-preparedness. And I'm hoping it's a one-off. I'm hoping he, gets some type of maybe Bruce Arians can give him a couple words of advice. I know he's his mentor from many years ago. Maybe we can have, some type of handing off the baton. I know Freddie was adamant that he's still going to call plays. If that's the thing that he has to give up, that he can actually make those big picture or big decisions that are going to affect the whole team, great. As long as they're the correct ones, then, if that's going to be a small price to pay. And then, considering you've only been a head coach for 7 games now, maybe in season 2, midway, maybe season 3, as long as you're somewhat winning, then you can, kind of develop that role to your liking and get more, doing what you had been doing, and maybe you could pass off other things that accompany a head coach on a game day. So, I'm not ready to, call for anybody's job. I'm not here to call for, this or that. But if it's something as little as giving up play calling duties or doing, less game day experience that can help the betterment of the team and the overall game day management, then the Browns definitely need it. Unfortunately, Drew's right, and Pat Shurmur was probably the worst game day coach. We've had a lot of bad coaches, but the actual game day and knowing exactly what's going on those 3 hours a week, I don't want to see that again, ever for the Cleveland Browns. And it reared its ugly head this past Sunday.
All right, so let's look forward. It should be an exciting weekend. Things are looking up for us. We're not going to be facing Joe Flacco. We're going to send Eric Sonnier out to Denver to root on the Browns. That usually works out for us, right? Did we win the Bucs game last year? No, we didn't.
It's been a couple of years.
It's been a couple of years. Oh gosh, okay. But let's look back at the Jets. Starting quarterback Sam Darnold out. Browns roll them up there. It's looking like it could be the same pattern facing the Broncos. There might be some weather out there. Eric, can you give us a little bit of the weather report and what you expect as the Browns travel to Denver?
Well, this weekend it's supposed to be in the low 50s to upper 40s, so not too much different from the Midwest. Right now, it's somewhere between 14 and 8 degrees with snow flurries.
Yeah, it's like record cold out there right now.
So, I was hoping to get one of those 10 degrees when I fly in, and then 70 the next day. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. But it's not going to be raining, so we can't have those excuses that, we're dropping passes or having it go through our hands. So I guess there's that. I saw both Ohio State and the Browns but you have your KJ Hills and your OBJs dropping pass on one hand. You have your Chris Olaves, and I don't know who for the Browns did catch a pass consistently.
Jarvis always catches it, man. Jarvis always just throw it to him.
So, yeah, that's not going to be an issue this Sunday. But Brandon Allen, yeah, so he's a journeyman from Arkansas, and that's a thing. So he has been in the league, I think, 4 years, and he's already on his 3rd team, has not taken a snap. So I think the Browns should have a similar game plan for when they were taking on Trevor Siemian, save the ankle injury IR. I could go without that. I don't really see anybody hurt. But, basically I want to see that front 4 just coming on play after play, maybe throw a couple safety blitzes or linebackers rushing up the A gap. Really make it difficult. Philip Lindsay, or is that right? Philip Lindsay? The running back. Yeah, he's a pretty solid back. He's pretty good in pass protection, and he can carry the rock. So, that's one weapon I think they're going to have to worry about. But I think other than that, they should just pretty much go back to I recall the early 2000s when the Browns would play the Bengals, is stop Corey Dillon and let their quarterbacks, force them to throw the ball. This one stopped Philip Lindsay, who was not as good as Corey Dillon, and force Brandon Allen to make plays over your defense. I know on the other
side. Is that back from your college days when you hated the Bengals and the Browns would play them and it was like a big deal?
Yeah, because we were in Columbus. it's half half Cleveland. So, yeah. So that's kind of what defensive philosophy. Offensively, they have a very solid defense. You still have Von Miller to look at, and how about we stop the penalties, stop the mistakes, and start getting those W's.
Yeah, I think this might be just what the doctor ordered. Drew, who do you think is going to be the standout player this coming Sunday for the Browns?
I will go with Myles Garrett because that's a pretty easy answer. He's the best player on the team, so I'll go with the best player on the team being the standout player in what I think should be a win. I mean, the Broncos are 2-6. Their offense is 28th in the league in points scored. And they're on their backup quarterback, and it's not even their good backup quarterback. It's not even Drew Lock. We don't even get to participate in Locktober because I think it'll be November then, and we don't even get to see Drew Lock. So, like, Sonia misses out on his chance for all these cool puns. And anyway, they do have a decent defense, though. Their defense, I want to say it's top 10 in the league. I looked at the other day. It was like 8th or 9th in terms of yardage and points scored in the top 10. Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, Chris Harris. I mean, this is a defense that has some players. So this is not going to be, roll into New Jersey and play the JV squad like we got against the Jets with C.J. Mosley injured and a bunch of their good players hurt. This is a legitimate defense that they're going up against. So, it doesn't get a whole heck of a lot easier. They're not the Patriots, but this offense isn't it. They don't get to go up against Miami and Arizona here. This is an NFL caliber defense with really good players and extremely good pass rushers. And that has been a recipe for success against this Browns team when you can have really good, talented pass rushers one-on-one against the Browns offensive tackles. It's been an issue. So I'm interested to see if they're able to get those guys blocked, because if they can, I think the offense will be just fine. But it has been a pretty big if up to this point. So this is not a game where they're just going to roll out the helmets and bring home a victory. They're going to have their best game if they're going to want to walk out of Denver a winner.
I would love to see Baker have a great game. He's had a tough season so far.
Yeah.
Denzel Ward, I would love to see him start to create some turnovers, get an interception in this game. But if I'm going to have to pick one person, it's going to be Nick Chubb. He, minus some of those turnovers, yes, they were ugly plays, big plays that were turned around based on those turnovers. I think Nick Chubb gets that confidence back. And he got most of his confidence back against the Patriots. He ran the ball well. The running game was there. It's just those turnovers were just horrible. And I think he gets back on track, and he's the strongest part of the Browns offense right now. I would love to see the passing game show up, and they really do need to show up if we are going to match those same hopes that we had that the second half of the schedule is where we're going to get all the wins. And that's where we have our trek into the playoffs. But man, it's tough. Baker's got to be protective with the ball, move the ball around, and hopefully Callaway steps up. But yeah, we haven't seen that so far. Really need to get back on track.
No. Not
all right.
Consistently.
So it's going to be a tough game, hopefully a fun game. Hopefully some good weather so we don't have to worry about anything impacting the passing game. Going to be exciting. Eric, we'll see you on television there. But let's finish up today. Let's go with our picks of the week. Drew, you can start us off with your Thursday pick.
You're damn right I'm starting us off. I'm 5-1, man. You're going to lead off with your best player here. 5 wins, 1 loss. I'm from the future. This is free money we're handing out here on the I Still Believe in Cleveland podcast. Okay, so for the Thursday night game, I saw this at 9.5. It might be at 10. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and take Kyle Shanahan and those red-hot San Francisco 49ers. I think they're the better squad. I think that they can win this game by 2 touchdowns. 10 points is a lot, but I still like it. I still like to take one of the hottest teams in the league. I will take San Francisco. If you can get it for 9.5, that's what I saw it at. That's what I'm going to say. For my lock of the week, I'm going to give you a London special, and it's the Houston Texans. They are 2-point favorites over London's own Jacksonville Jaguars. Should be pretty good crowd for the Jaguars. They always seem to have a home game in London. It's become London's de facto team, but I still think you're going to get plenty of Texans fans there, and I think that they win that game. I'm happy to lay the 2 points and assume they'll win by more than that. And lastly, for our beloved Cleveland Browns, I am again not going to pick the game. I'm going to cheap out and give you the over on 39. 39 is a really low number. In the NFL, your usual numbers are between like 43 and 48 or 49. Anything more than 49 is a large point spread. Anything under 42, maybe 41 is a very small point spread. So I'm going to take the over on 39 and just assume that the game finishes around what every game in the NFL finishes, hopefully 24-20, and our Browns walk out of there a win. Not confident in that, am confident in the over. There's 3 winners for you, 5-1, 5-1, 5-1.
All right, Eric, who do you got this weekend?
All right, Thursday night, I am also I'm going back and forth, but I will also take the San Francisco 49ers. I was thinking of toying with that over-under, but I'll stick with the Niners, lay those points. We'll just go across the board and lay those points in 3 different games. My other lock of the week, the other game, the lock of the week, is the Green Bay Packers laying for in LA Chargers, mostly going to be Packers fans in that soccer stadium. And the Chargers fired Ken Wisenhunt. They not looking good on offense. We go then to the Browns game. They're laying 3. Browns get out the Schneid. They're playing some Brandon Allen guy. No excuses. Time to start winning games. Browns win 27-17. I believe that would cover 30, 40, 44. What was the over under?
39.
39, that's over.
All right, I'm going all heart. Betting with your heart. It never fails. We'll go
Always wins.
We'll go with the 49ers. We're going to say that the Patriots are going to beat up the Ravens. The Patriots are given 3.5 to the Ravens. They're going to clean their clocks. And the Browns are going to blow out the Broncos, of course. Betting on the Browns never fails.
Yeah, guaranteed money maker.
and that's my picks. I don't know if it's exactly a 1-900 number you'll find mine on, maybe on a leaflet that you'll find outside of bars or something like that. But
you can start charging mine soon, man. Don't you worry. From the future.
Well, thank you guys. We'll be watching all the games this weekend. No Buckeyes this weekend. A double bye. What the heck is that? We'll be saying go Browns. We'll be watching for Eric on the big screen. And go Browns.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.